Hello and welcome to another edition of the Carbon Landscape Partnerships Walking Trails. I'm Adam Berry, and today we're going to be doing the Warrington Heritage Loop. We're starting here at the Woolston Neighbourhood Hub. There's parking here, so that makes it very convenient, and then just around the corner is the start of the trail. So let's go and uncover some of the heritage of the Warrington area. Right, this is one of the junctions here that's quite easy to miss. This is turning right down Mill Lane after we've left the dual carriageway, so look out for that. So we're just taking a small cut down Mill Lane. As I've already mentioned, it's a tricky little one to look out for. It's just the signs on the other side of your approach, so you can't see it from where you're walking from. So keep an eye out for it. Little right turn down a cutting through some houses and through the estate. Looks here, but we're coming to the lock, and this will be the site of another 360 degree photo for this part of the trail, just to give you an idea of what the area looks like. So just down from the 360 photo at Woolston Lock is this little plaque here that gives you a bit of information about the canal. And if we just pop up, you will be able to see some remnant mechanism of the lock itself, one of the winding wheels, and the lock would have been in this little area here that's now being used as a feeding ground for waterfowl, including 4 beautiful swans. Great day for bird watching as well, and hopefully we'll be able to get a chat with a local bird watcher about what you might be able to see in this area. So after a short little walk up that cut, brings you out to this view here, looking out over the hydro pole, which is an Archimedes screw generating electricity from the water flowing over the weir. And as we continue along the path here, it takes us through this cut and onto the eyes themselves. So here I am on the edge of Woolston Eyes Nature Reserve, and I've come across 2 lovely gentlemen here who have been very kind in agreeing to stop and chat for a second or two. Gents, would you like to introduce yourselves?
Yes, I'm Dave Hackett. I'm one of the wardens here at Woolston Eyes.
And I'm Derek Britch. I'm also a warden on Woolston Eyes Nature Reserve.
Lovely. So do you want to tell us a little bit about Woolston Eyes itself, the area, what it is?
Yeah, well, Woolston Eyes was created when the ship Canal was built, and it's designed for pumping dredgings onto the 4 beds, which is still going on today. So it's very much a working site, and the habitat changes according to what work is being done by the ship Canal Company. Okay, so that changes on a yearly basis or seasonal basis? Yes, annually or thereabouts. There's always something different going on.
Yeah, brilliant. And well, I know you guys mentioned just briefly in the chat before we came on camera, you mentioned it was a triple SI and SSSI. Do you want to explain that a little bit, Derek?
Well, it's a triple SI because of the species that are found here. It's the best, one of the best sites in the country for breeding black-necked grebes, which are pretty rare in this country.
Yeah.
And you know, there's all sorts of warblers in the spring. You know, there's all sorts of birds. Every time of the year. You know, in winter we get the wintering wildfowl. We've got 2 goldeneye in the basin along with the tufted ducks.
Right.
You know, so the wildfowl build up in the winter.
Lovely.
So
Yeah, so it's a real hot spot for for bird watchers in particular. But I mean, what kind of, have you got any stories or anecdotes about things you might have seen on your wardening?
In the last week, there's been thousands of pink-footed geese roosting on the reserve and flying off to feed on stubble in the adjoining farmland in the daytime, which is quite unusual for us here. Right. As we say, there's always something new and something different to see.
Yeah. And Derek, how big is Woolston Eyes Nature Reserve?
Well, it's pretty extensive. There's four actual beds. There's number 1 bed, which is past the motorway, the Thelwell Viaduct. Number 2 bed, which is next to it, which they actually do work on number 1 and number 2. Number 3 bed is the next, which is pretty, that's our main nature reserve really, and they don't touch that at all. It's only us that manage that. And number 4 bed, where we're creating a new wetland, so it's quite a big area, that's covered.
Yeah.
In total, I walk around the whole reserve every week, which is a distance, I reckon, of about 17 or 18 miles. So that gives you some idea of the extent of the habitat here.
Yeah, that's quite an area, isn't it? Yeah.
It certainly is.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, there's all sorts of different habitats within this as well. There's wetlands, there's scrub, there's trees.
Yeah.
So you get a good variety of birds.
Lovely.
And other wildlife as well.
And how easy is it to access?
Well, you need a permit to get onto number 3 bed.
Right, there we go.
Only wardens are allowed beyond the viaduct. But a lot of local people walk around number 4 bed, where the new wetland is going to be.
Lovely. And where can you get more information about the site and how to get on?
Well, there's a website which you can get into, Woolston Eyes Conservation Group website, and Brian Ankers, who's the chairman, would give you all the details, and if you want to join or anything, get a key for the gate, because there's a gate onto number 3.
Oh yeah, for access.
You need a key.
Okay.
Anything like that, go on the website, and all the information's on the website.
Lovely. I will make sure that website address pops up on the video, so people can have a look. Fantastic. Gents, thank you very much for your time. Brilliant.
Pleasure.
It's a pleasure, yeah.
So as we walk along the Manchester Ship Canal, we will come to the footbridge. Again, you might not spot this on the route, but this footbridge will take you across to bed number 3 of Woolston Eyes Nature Reserve. Now it's permit only. I'll put information on the video of where you can apply, who to contact to get the permit. But this footbridge will take you across to bed 3. Right, we take this little path off the main road, away from the traffic, and it takes us down to the locks. And if you squint, you can just see a big boat coming. So leaving the Ship Canal locks, following the path along the road, will take us on to our next step. So this path takes us down by the side of the nursing home, rather than through the estate. So we are currently walking through Westy, believe it or not, along the River Mersey, which is just hoved into view behind me there. It's quite handy. A couple of years ago they installed, if you can see here, flood defences. A couple of years old, just in case the Mersey decides to pop over the top there to say hello. But it's a rather impressive structure. And I think the people on the other side of me, on the side of the road, will be quite thankful for it, actually. I know I would be. Alright, so we're just leaving the River Mersey flood defences and we are now about to set foot onto the Westy Way. It's about a mile or so. Permissive footpath, parts of it are owned by United Utilities, but I think locally it's a very well known path and route through onto the next section. But again, we've got the River Mersey on my right, and yeah, we'll see what's ahead of us. I just thought I'd take a moment to stop here as along the New Cut Heritage Trail here. We've got some reed beds that have been managed by the Carbon Landscape volunteers. Reed beds being an important habitat for all sorts of wildlife. You could, water voles potentially, lots of warblers, reed warblers, etc. Really good for bird life. And reed bed restoration is really important because it helps create brand new habitat, but also reed beds are fantastic for water filtration and water cleaning as well. So just an important and interesting little stop off along the New Cut Trail.
Next year, so we were hoping to do something a bit special, but things are getting a bit difficult.
It is, isn't it? It's difficult to make those kind of plans.
We can't go on it because it belongs to Peel, and we can't seem to get permission from Peel for us to tart it up a bit.
Yeah, but this is New Cut now.
We're now on the New Cut Trail.
Right.
This is obviously the Mersey, and the locks that ran into the New Cut Canal were just at this corner.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and this is one of the lock cottages.
Yep. Right.
So
Lovely.
there's a bit of archaeological, industrial archaeology here to be resurrected.
Right. Okay. Is it a case of people know where it is? It just needs
Well,
the finance, or
you see all these briars here, these brambles.
Yep.
These are on the site of the locks.
Oh, okay. Right.
So, we would like to have cleared all this, and we might still yet do it before its anniversary.
Yes. Yeah. But like I say, it's tight,
so
isn't it?
This wall obviously wasn't here. This is the flood defences, but there's a nice couple of photographs there of what that cottage behind you looked like originally.
So we'll just
take a quick film.
Yeah.
And those are the types of barges that used to come up and down the.
There's a cottage there. Cool.
I think it's probably a little bit sheltered here.
Yeah, it's much better than the gates up there, isn't it? Yeah, because it's a bit of a wind tunnel up there. So we've popped onto Paddington Meadows here, rather by chance. Bumped into Terry Egan here of a local group. Terry, do you want to say hello and who you're part of?
Hello, Terry Egan again. You've probably seen me on films before talking about the bird life, but I'm here this morning as part of the New Cut Heritage and Ecology Trail Group to talk about some of the work that's going on the meadows at present. We're currently involved in trying to create a wildflower meadow in the field you can see behind me. We've also been doing clearing works on the blackthorn that's encroaching into the meadows in various locations. We've been doing reed bed cuttings and litter picking and all the normal friends group work that happens on a nature reserve like this.
Yeah, quite an active group.
Quite an active
and in
group.
normal circumstances.
We in normal circumstances, and even in the lockdown, we've tried to keep ourselves separated, but working in small groups. And as you can see, we're doing quite a bit of work as you walk around the meadows. We've improved the access to all of the footpaths on the meadows, so now if you do come down here, although it's quite muddy at present, you will be able to have a nice pleasant walk even in winter. But please bring your wellies.
Yeah, you will need them. We can attest to that. Yep, there are some muddy patches, aren't there? Yeah. So with this meadow in particular, you want to kind of get it.
Well, our intentions are we've cut strips of it down, and we intend perhaps removing some of the grass because the actual quality of the soil is too good, and we're going to plant a variety of natural wildflowers in here. We don't want anything strange or foreign in here, but we just like to improve the habitat, get more butterflies and insects here, and ultimately that'll have an effect on the habitat in general.
Yeah, and it's a nice open patch, isn't it? So in terms of seed dispersal and access, it can be
hopefully,
really...
as I say, we've not done it yet, but that's come back next year.
Yeah.
We'll see what effect it's had.
Very good. And in terms of just kind of how much space have people got for access?
Well, if you walk round the every field has footpaths around it or through it, and if you do walk the whole thing, access is quite good. I wouldn't say it was wheelchair ready, but there's about 3 miles of walks around the meadows.
Right.
People do manage to get themselves lost on here.
Right. I was going to say, how many meadows are there?
Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
6 meadows, right? Okay,
yeah.
so it's a nice.
Yeah, it's a nice size.
Patch, yeah.
It's basically encapsulate. It's surrounded by a large meander of the River Mersey, so there's parts of it are nice riverside walks as well.
Yeah, lovely.
So it's certainly worth. And it's very good for dog walking because we've got no roads nearby.
Right.
So we do get quite a lot of people walking the dogs here.
Yeah,
which
lovely.
is always nice to see.
And in terms of kind of the group itself, with spaces on the group or interested in people joining in at any point?
Well, it's open membership, and we do have a Facebook site which is open membership. You do have to ask to join, but it's open membership. So that's where we promulgate most of our information. I post as many bird photographs as I can.
Right,
So if you don't mind seeing lots of bird photographs, that will keep you happy.
It's a good place to go to.
It's a good place to go to see what's going on. But I've only been doing it since the lockdown. Lockdown been responsible for me, 1, growing a beard, and 2, joining Facebook.
It's driven us to strange things.
Yeah.
Lovely. Thank you, Terry. Cheers.
A pleasure. Bye.